I'm Dale Williams, and this is the Sports Vision's television show. Due to the coronavirus pandemic, the 5th annual Female Athlete of the Year Luncheon that was scheduled for April 16th this year has been rescheduled to June 11th at 11:30 a.m. at St. Luke United Methodist. And for those out there that want to be involved in this great event, you can call Dale Williams at 706-681-5192, or you can call DJ Jones at 706-681-1136. And here's some highlights from last year's Female Athlete of the Year Luncheon.
Talking to one of the recipients here today, Hannah Maxson with Brookstone High School, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Tell us about the award you have just received today.
I am astonished, honestly. It's the Female Student Athlete of the Year for AFLAC, so it's incredible. I mean, I'm so honored.
You
for
deserve
sure.
it.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. So tell us your sports.
Well, I have been swimming for about 11 years, so that's about all I've had time for in the past decade or so, but I feel extremely privileged.
Absolutely. Well, you deserve it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing and being an inspiration.
Thank you so
to
much.
so many others.
Thank you.
And where are you going for college?
Auburn University, War Eagle.
Okay, you heard it here. Sports Vision Female Athlete Luncheon. Talking to another female athlete recipient. Tell us your name.
Deja Delane.
You're so gorgeous. Congratulations. You have double. Tell us about the awards you received.
Honestly, didn't expect to get this. I guess it's the Jordan's Girls Best all around Female Athlete of the Year.
Yes.
Honestly, didn't expect to get this.
Absolutely. You deserve it. So let us know your sports.
I do softball, track, and basketball.
Absolutely. Oh, girl, you're amazing. So what are your plans after high school?
I'd go to college. I haven't got my college preference yet, but I'm going to get there.
Absolutely. I'm pretty sure this is a huge honor.
It is.
You're on the right trail.
It's nerve-wracking, too.
But look, this is the reward.
Yeah, I know. I'm happy.
Absolutely. What would you like to say to Sports Vision?
Thank y'all a lot.
You deserve it. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Oh, precious. Thank you, Sports Vision. More wonderful ladies here at the luncheon. Tell us your name.
I'm Alexandra Barajas.
In what school?
Chattahoochee County.
Chattahoochee County in here. Well, congratulations. It's
you.
such an honor for your service, for your sports in the community. So what sports do you play?
I play varsity basketball, volleyball, and cross country.
Oh, and where are you going to go after high school?
After high school, I plan on going to somewhere in Georgia. I haven't decided on college yet.
Haven't decided yet. Absolutely. Well, what would you like to say to Sports Vision?
Thank you so much for this opportunity. It's a great luncheon. It was a great opportunity to be here, so thank you.
And isn't it amazing when you think no one is watching, somebody is watching?
Yes, ma'am. It's just amazing to be here. It's a great opportunity.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Sports Vision.
Thank you.
We have twins here today. Ladies, tell us your name.
Ashley Whitley, and I'm Ansley Whitley.
In what school?
Marion County.
Okay, all right. How does it feel to be honored today?
It feels great to be recognized for all the hard work.
Absolutely.
Yeah, not only as individuals, but as twins too, because we come as one unit, so.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Now tell us your sports.
Softball, basketball, and track.
So you both play the same sports?
All three sports, yes,
Oh,
ma'am.
man. That is amazing. What an inspiration. Are you going to go to the same college?
Yes, ma'am. We're both going to Virginia Tech. We signed to Virginia Tech to play softball.
Oh, congratulations.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, my gosh. I'm so proud of you. Well, what would you like to say to Sports Vision?
Thank you for giving us this opportunity and finally recognizing young women for the sports they play. I think it's really important because women are just as much athletes as men are. So I think recognizing women, some are even better than men. Like when we go to our school, I'll be challenging the boys too. So I think it's really important that women get recognized too.
Absolutely. Well, you heard it from the Girl Power right here at Sports Vision 4th Annual Female Athlete Luncheon. Another set of twins here. This is historic. Never happened before, but it's happening here at the 4th Annual Sports Vision Female Athlete Luncheon. Congratulations, ladies. Tell us your name.
Shabrik Leslie. Jobrick Leslie.
Say that again.
Shabrik Leslie. Jobrick Leslie.
I hope you got it. What school?
Greenville High School.
Okay. All right. How does it feel to be honored and recognized for your achievement today?
You know, it's a big thing because we've been working hard to get to this place, so we still
Absolutely.
I feel appreciated and stay motivated and things.
Absolutely. Do you have plans after high school? Where are you going?
I'm not for sure on what college I want to go to, but I still want to play basketball.
Absolutely.
Same.
So that's your sports. The both of you play basketball.
Basketball, run track, and we play volleyball. So.
Oh, okay. Wonderful. All three, both of you, all three. This last set of twins play 3 sports as well. I told you, never happened before in history. But here, right here in Columbus. Well, congratulations, ladies. We're so proud of you. What would you like to say to Sports Vision for recognizing your achievement?
I just want to say thank you, and yeah, we're gonna be. Thank you, and we appreciate. Thank you. I appreciate the support.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. You're watching it here on CTV Beam.
Bus is coming in 10 minutes. Come eat breakfast.
Hey, watch the homework.
Do you know if it's supposed to rain?
Where's my gray hat?
Where did you leave it?
It's your body.
What time does practice end today?
I like that headband. It really makes a statement.
Are you gonna wear this to work? Let's go. Bus is here.
Liberty Utilities natural gas. So reliable, you'll forget we're there.
Imagine a life-changing injury. Imagine the fear and unknown. The Houston Clinic Sports Medicine Team, the only physicians in the area with advanced certification in orthopedic sports medicine, treats sports injuries with innovative techniques. The Houston Clinic has helped nearly 1 million athletes live without pain. Imagine getting back in the game. Imagine the best game of your life. The Houston Clinic Sports Medicine Team.
Hello everybody, I'm DJ Jones. You might know me from my athletic career at Carver High School, University of Georgia, or my sports broadcasting career. I know a lot of people, but when it comes to an attorney I trust, I call Forrest B. Johnson.
I'm Forrest Johnson of Forrest B. Johnson and Associates. And I want to let you know how proud we are to be a part of your community, a part of the Columbus community and the Phoenix, Alabama community. Consider us first. When you or any member of your family has been involved in an automobile accident, remember, car wreck, get a check.
Call now, 706-223-5380. For all of your tire and service needs, be sure to visit Complete Tire and Service, 3109 Victory Drive in Columbus. For your convenience, we have a 20,000 square foot state-of-the-art building, premium environment to the customer. For workstations, Wi-Fi, we carry Bridgestone, Firestone, Falcon, and Continental. Our managers have over 125 combined years in the industry. We have 24/7 commercial roadside assistance, DOT inspections, complete automotive services. Our phone number is 706-940-0982. Be sure to visit Complete Tire and Service, 706-940-0982.
And welcome back to Sports Visions. Now we are at the segment of our show where we are calling the Where Are They Now? And this week's guest is Reverend Johnny Flakes Jr. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Dale. Appreciate it, man.
Well, you know, I've been putting fillers out, and me and DJ have been putting fillers out on top players, legendary players in this areas that we grew up around, and your name comes right up to the list. We've had Rudy Allen, we've had Coach Davis, and this week we got you, the legendary Johnny Flakes Jr., the scat back out of Columbus High School.
Well, thank you, man.
You know, a lot of people don't know a lot of stuff about you, and we're going to give you the opportunity to let them know that you were a football player, a scholar, and now you're still a scholar in the biblical sense. But let people know when you went to high school, where you went to high school.
Well, let me say thank you to you, and let me say thank you to DJ and Sports Vision for granting the opportunity to come and to share. But I actually started out at Columbus High School and started my football career actually there, if you will, my football journey. Started out as a freshman and played freshman ball with a Puerto Rican guy by the name of Papo Preston.
Oh,
and we played, and the late Coach Oswald was the freshman coach. Mm-hmm. And we had a great freshman year, and I was moved up to varsity my sophomore year. And in my sophomore year, I wasn't the starting running back, but was definitely making the team and going to the games. And my sophomore year, I was given the opportunity to play against Carver High School, a school that I really wanted to play for in terms of the powder blue. But that's another story at another time. But I remember that I had about 177 yards in a couple of quarters, and the coach told me to sit down.
Okay.
So I caught the eye of a coach over on Carver's side. He was an assistant coach at that time, the late Leon Crenshaw, that played for the Green Bay Packers.
That's right.
And he had followed my high school career. When I became a junior, of course, I became a starter. The starting left halfback for Columbus High School. It was Bobby Bynum, that I think was probably one of the best backs to ever come through Columbus High School.
Very good.
And fullback by the name of Carlton Gardner. We called him Bull. And then Steve Hale was the quarterback, and we had a tremendous offensive lineman there, and then had a great wide receiver in Joe Jones. And so we had a real tight team. And so through my junior and senior year at Columbus High School, I probably averaged maybe about 8 yards per carry. And was selected all by city first team. I challenge some of the young guys today that if they're able to make all by city first team, not second, not third, not honorable mention, then I'll welcome them to the ring, okay? And so I was very blessed to have the opportunity.
Well, we grew up watching you. I mean, even when we were at Edgewood, we emulated Columbus High School. We ran the wishbone. So when you start talking to people now about 8 yards per carry, that means they were pitching the ball to you a lot, and you were getting to the corner. I mean, I remember the Steve Hales, the Bobby Bynum, the Carlton Gardner, Johnny Flakes, Joe Jones, the whole system, and under the legendary Pig Davis.
The late Pig Davis, man. He was wonderful, yeah. And our backfield coach was Grady Elmore. I played under Coach Elmore, and just had some wonderful coaches, the late Coach Sparks, and also Coach Bunton was our coach as well. So we had a wonderful coaching team. But I had great blockers. Bobby Bynum was our right halfback, so he had to basically take the person that was coming up.
That's right.
And Joe Jones had to make his block, and Steve Hill was a great pitcher. He read it very well. And Carlton Gardner was a great fullback. So we were a team. It was just not me, but we were a team, and I couldn't have done it without those guys, man.
Well, after your great career at Columbus High School, you went on to Tuskegee. And a lot of people don't know that you hold some return records at Tuskegee. Tell us a little about the transition from high school to Tuskegee.
A lot of people don't know, but it was Leon Crenshaw, the late Leon Crenshaw, who was a Hall of Famer at Tuskegee. He knew the head coach at that time. I was not getting really a lot of looks. And he and his wife, the former Miss Crenshaw, they would come on Saturdays and pick me up and take me to Tuskegee. And that's how I got introduced to Tuskegee. I did have some looks from Morris Brown. I had some looks from Morehouse and some others. But he actually took time to take me over there and introduce me to the coach. And I went and I wanted to be a halfback. But Coach Sism, the late Coach Sism, who was the coach there, he liked big running backs. They were running the wishbone. And he liked backs anywhere between 5'11" until, 6'1", 225, 230. And I didn't fit that mode. And so when I got there, I was on third team. So he had me on the practice squad, and I almost quit. So I called Coach Crenshaw, and he told me that I should hang in there, and he didn't take a quitter over there, and so forth, so on. And they asked that I would return punts and kickoffs, and so that's how I actually really got playing time returning punts and kickoffs. As a matter of fact, I was one of the first punt return, kickoff return specialists that they deemed me as for Tuskegee that was on a scholarship. And I had one of the longest returns of kickoffs. It was against Florida A&M. As a matter of fact, Rudy Hubbard was the coach, and they were a nationally ranked team at that time. And I had the longest kickoff return on FAMU, but it also is in the record book.
All right. Hold on. We got more coming on Sports Vision. We will be right back to finish up this interview, and we want you to talk about what you're doing now. So hold tight. Don't leave us. We'll be right back.
Gear up for fall at Academy Sports and Outdoors.
People know Aflac, but not what they do. So we're answering their questions.
Aflac is auto insurance, right?
No.
Is it homeowner's insurance?
No.
Is it duck insurance?
Nope.
Do they pay me money directly when I get sick or injured?
Yeah. Aflac. You got it. You know Aflac. Boom. Get help with expenses health insurance doesn't cover. Get to know us at aflac.com.
For all of your tire and service needs, be sure to visit Complete Tire and Service, 3109 Victory Drive in Columbus. For your convenience, we have a 20,000 square foot state-of-the-art building, premium environment to the customer. For workstations, Wi-Fi, we carry Bridgestone, Firestone, Falcon, and Continental. Our managers have over 125 combined years in the industry. We have 24/7 commercial roadside assistance, DOT inspections, complete automotive services. Our phone number is 706-940-0982. Be sure to visit Complete Tire and Service, 706-940-0982.
Welcome back to Sports Vision, and we're going to continue doing our interview with Reverend Johnny Flakes Jr. about his luxurious career in not the NBA, but in college football, and we left off at Tuskegee. Mm-hmm. And I want you now to let everybody know how you made the transition from Tuskegee to what you're actually doing now. Mm-hmm. Let them know what you're doing now and all the things you learned in football, how it helps you out now.
All right. Well, football is actually, I believe, what Coach Sism used to teach us. It's to teach you how to deal with life after you get off the football field. And life is basically choices and decisions that you make on the football field, but it can also transition to life. But after Tuskegee, I actually got looked at by an NFL football team. Oh. I didn't get drafted, all right, but I got looked at. We're actually two, and one was they were the Baltimore Colts at the time. They're the Indianapolis Colts now, right. And by the Atlanta Falcons. But they wanted me to come in as a walk-on. They wanted me to come in, to try out. But I had a professor who actually was a PhD physical therapist. And there was a joint program between University of Alabama and Tuskegee. And he asked if I wanted to work on my master's. I was a political science major, was going to law school, and he needed 5 students who had pretty good grades, and I maintained some pretty good grades. And he said, well, if you can get your master's free, would you consider this joint program between the University of Alabama and Tuskegee? And it was in counseling. And I really didn't have any real desire, but then after I decided I would not go and walk on and possibly get injured, by trying out for the Baltimore Colts, the Atlanta Falcons, I decided to go to graduate school. And so my first year was spent at University of Alabama. Then if you finished that part of the program, then you had an opportunity to go on to finish your master's at either Long Island University, South Alabama, or the University of Iowa. And so I went to the University of Iowa and finished my master's because that's where my professor finished his PhD. And so became a graduate assistant at the University of Iowa. And then after that, did a long stint in terms of counseling with a company out of Irvine, California, residing in Atlanta. And then was basically dealing with the ministry. I didn't want to be a pastor. I definitely didn't want to be a preacher. So ran for a while and ended up in Tampa, Florida. And that's where I received my call. And so I was told that if you're going to be called, you need preparation. Returned back to Atlanta, went to the Morehouse School of Religion, ITC, and finished my MD of there, my Master's of Divinity. And then after that, I went on to get a doctorate from Mercer University, McAfee School of Theology. I finished that in 2015. And I'm the proud pastor of the 4th Street Missionary Baptist Church, where my father pastored for 50 years. And the mantle was passed, and so I'm thankful and humbled to have been given that privilege and opportunity to be a pastor of that church.
Well, I had the great opportunity of talking to your dad before I was making a transition when I was at the Chamber of Commerce, and I used to go see him quite often for some advice. And he he told me one thing, and he would say things, and it wouldn't say much, but whatever you saw, you kind of thought about it. And he told me to write the vision down, make it plain, and for those who read it, and run with it. And I still live by that today.
Bless you.
And speaking of vision, what is your vision for 4th Street? What is the vision for the student athletes in this area and just coming up, the kids that are coming up now? What's actually your vision?
Well, our vision at 4th Street has been one that's been crafted, and that is to become a caring, sharing, fruit-bearing fellowship. That has been a long-term, vision. But most importantly, I think the vision also is to make a difference in the lives of people, equipping them to be disciples, not just to be church members, but we're basically dealing with something that's called moving from membership to discipleship. And that's something that our desire is that we become the witnesses for the one that we declare who's Lord of our lives. And that is what our continued preaching and teaching and any of our ministries embodies and also teach. As far as the vision for these young athletes who are tremendously talented and gifted, have so many opportunities that we probably never had exposed to us. There were those opportunities, but these athletes, student athletes I like to call them, have so much available to them. And our prayer is that, one, that they will take advantage of every opportunity that's given to them. Number two, that they will take the lessons that football teaches, and that is the accountability, the discipline, to take the opportunity to really learn the teamwork that's needed, that can be transferred from football to real life in terms of working with so many different personalities, but also following instruction, is being able to follow instruction. And I believe that if they can take those particular skill sets or those particular abilities and capabilities and transfer those to life, then they can be very successful. But also is having them know that they can do nothing without Christ, and that they can do all things with him, and not be ashamed to acknowledge who they believe in. And I want to challenge coaches, because this is a part of the vision, in order to be able to instill that into their lives, these core values into their lives. I remember my dad telling me that if you're going to go and you're going to play football and you can go to practice, you have to go to youth meeting where those values were instilled. You have to go to worship. You have to go to church. You have to go to Bible study, so that we had a solid foundation, so that when the storms of life would come, then I understood that, if I didn't play pro football, that there was something greater in me as well, and that was academics, that I can go and I can basically take advantage of the opportunities that was given me there. So I'm hoping that coaches would really look at, my dad would not allow me to go and practice on Sundays. He wouldn't let me play ball on Sundays.
Okay.
And I just pray that coaches would really evaluate that, because we have so many kids that need a solid direction spiritually. They're great athletes, but hopefully that they can begin to look at, if they're going to practice on Sunday, let it be after worship, 3 o'clock, 2 o'clock,
Hey, well, there you have it, the legendary Reverend Johnny Flakes Jr., and we'll be right back. This is Sports Visions.
Should planning your travel be more stressful than staying at home? Of course not. Here at Luncheon Travel, our VIP service makes traveling easy and fun.
Girls Trip!
We've helped serve thousands of people and families experience their dream vacation by taking the hassle out of travel.
Thank you.
We book your flight, reserve your hotel, and make sure you have a stress-free vacation so you can enjoy every moment of it.
Thank you.
We even help you choose different activities that you're guaranteed to enjoy. And the best part is, we find you the best price at no extra charge for you. Actually, 95% of customers save money and time by booking with Luncheon Travel. So start thinking about your dream vacation. Wherever you want to go, whatever you want to do, we'll make it happen for you. As easy as 1, 2, 3. Call today or log on and set up your vacation of a lifetime with Luncheon Travel, your travel agent for life.
E&S Men's Clothing Warehouse has been your most trusted name in men's fashion for more than 50 years. We've offered the area's best selection of top quality, name brand suits, accessories, and casual wear at the most competitive prices around. Customer service is our top priority. We're the professionals generations have trusted for the best quality and absolutely the best deals. We are E&S Men's Clothing Warehouse. We are simply the best.
Come into Chester's Barbecue for our world-famous mouth-watering ribs, smoked fresh on our grill daily. Or try one of our barbecue pork plates with fresh sides. Chester's has delicious sandwich combos to choose from that are sure to please. We also serve tempting home-cooked favorites. And don't forget to take home your own bottle of great sauce. Chester's Barbecue, serving the best food at the best price, with 3 locations to serve you.
Hey, my name is George, and I love the Chick-fil-A grilled nuggets. It's like me grilling at home. It tastes very similar to that, except the seasoning. I probably can't season it as well as Chick-fil-A does. The chicken's super tender, and honestly, the best nuggets I've ever tasted.
My name is Meredith, and a little thing I love about Chick-fil-A's mac and cheese is the oven-toasted, cheesy top layer. If home had a flavor, it would be Chick-fil-A's mac and cheese. I'm passionate about it.
And welcome back to Sports Visions. And don't forget to save this date. This year, the 13th annual Sports Vision High School football luncheon that will be scheduled December the 10th. December the 10th at 11:30 at St. Luke United Methodist. Over the years, we've had some great speakers from Dabo Sweeney to Nick Saban to even Mayor Eddie Lowe. Here's some highlights from that event.
There's no elevator to success. There's no app. You got to put the work in. And the thing I love about the game of football, as much as the game has changed and different things, man, it's hard work. It's hard work. And the other thing I've learned through the game of football is you can outwork people. When I got to Alabama, I'll never forget it, man. My first practice, I'm like, man, I ain't ever going to play. Holy cow, this guy's faster than me, stronger than me, bigger than me. Oh, my gosh. Earned a scholarship, lettered 3 years, played on a national championship team. What I learned is you can outwork people. You can outthink people. You can outwant people. You can out-effort people. You can out-tough people. That's what the game taught me. You can out-believe people. Okay? There is no elevator. The third thing I wrote down, and I hope y'all will listen to this, is friends. It is so critical that you surround yourself with good people. All right? The Bible says that bad company corrupts good character. All right? My mom said, if you run with dogs, you get fleas. And that's so true. That's so true. You get in the car and they smoking marijuana, it's on you. It's on you. Okay? So listen to me. Don't buy the lie that sometimes your neighborhood wants to sell you. Sometimes who you think your friends are. Surround yourself with good and tough people only. All right? It is so important that you understand that. Seek wisdom from others. Seek wisdom from others. I tell my players all the time, you're going to learn from your own experience. You touch that hot stove, you just learned. You learned. But the wise person learns through other people's experience. The wise person learns through other people's failures, other people's successes. So it's so important that you do that. Surround yourself with the right people. It says in Proverbs, where there is no counsel, the people fall. But in the multitude of good counselors, there is safety. All right, I'm one person at Clemson. I'm just one person. I have a team of coaches. I have a team of staff. All right, I have surrounded myself with a multitude of good counselors. All right, that's where the safety is. Everything good in my life that has happened to me has come through the good of other people, through team. My wife, we met in the first grade, started going together in the sixth grade. You know, y'all call it talking to each other now, or whatever. We started like going together. And then dated all through high school and college, been married 24 years. Everything good in my life has come because of good people around me. Everything. The next thing I would tell you is education. This one will touch you a little bit, especially you athletes, because you think so much about your sport, and I understand that. You're passionate about that. But I'm most proud of all the things that I have achieved in my life. I'm most proud, and the biggest change in my life came when I walked across that stage in Tuscaloosa, Alabama to get my degree. You have no idea what a game changer that was for my family. All right, it's like my family, we grew another trunk on our tree when I got my degree. Nobody in my family had been to college. Nobody. My parents, my grandparents, my great-grandparents, my great-great-grandparents, my 2 older brothers, nobody had been to college. That was the game changer for me. And listen, football has been amazing. The experiences, the relationships, unbelievable. But man, that got me out of the long line and put me in the short line. It gave me a qualification where people could not discount me. It created opportunities for me that I probably would have never had. I certainly wouldn't have the job I have if I hadn't had my degree. And so, man, I was the first in my family, and I went to school, and this is what I love about our country. And listen, there's always good and there's always bad, but let me tell you, the one thing we do have in this country is opportunity. If you got the will. All right, so I can just tell you, I don't know what all your situation is, but if this guy right here can get an education, you can. I went to college on Pell Grants and student loans. Eventually earned a scholarship, went on to get a master's degree. Football is a vocation. Your education is your career. Don't ever forget that. It is a game changer for you. And here's the thing about it, man, they cannot take it away. Your house can burn down, they can fire you from your job, but they can't ever take that education away. It is so important that you understand that, and understand that as big and strong as a lot of you young guys are in here today, you need to listen to this. If you play this game till you're 30, you're ancient. Your academic ability will far outlive your athletic ability. So make sure that you are being the best you can be academically. All right, that you be a person of excellence in everything that you do. High school degree versus a college degree. It is a proven fact that you will make $1 to $1.5 million more over your lifetime with a college degree. And for you guys that aspire to play in college, understand, first of all, how special you guys are here today. 5.6% of high school football players play college football. 1.67% of the college players play in the NFL. 1.67% of the college players play in the NFL. You better get that degree. And you better understand how important it is. Now, that doesn't mean that you don't strive for that. If you know that's the odds, then you better put in the work, and you better do everything you can to give yourself the best edge possible. Make sure you understand that. So, it truly is the key to your future. When I became the head coach in 2009 at Clemson, the very first thing I did, day one, I set the vision and the philosophy of the program. This is who we are. This is the way we're going to do things, and here's why. And the first thing I sat down, I said, you know what, here's what we're going to want. This is what we're going to be about. This is what we want for our players. The first thing we want for our players is for them to get their education. They're going to get their education. I would rather lose trying to do it right than to win knowing that we didn't. I played with so many guys that the band cheered for, the people clapped for while they were playing this game, that didn't leave with a degree. And then 10 years later, it's sad. I've never wanted that for my players. I want to know that my players are going to. So this is how we set the vision of the program. We're going to make sure that our guys get their degree. They get an education. We're going to make sure that we equip them with tools for life. How to show up on time. How to put in the work. How to win and lose. How to be a good teammate. How to handle adversity. How to handle criticism. Tools that you better have when you go out in the real world. The third thing is I want them to have a great college experience. Let's have some fun. I want them to love their experience. I want to surround them with people that they're going to love to be around. And the last thing was I want them to win a championship. And it's in that order. And I think what happens is people put that the opposite. They say, okay, winning championships is the very first thing. So now all of a sudden those other things fall to the wayside. But we've kept it the main thing, the main thing. So here I am. It's not my first year as the head coach. It's 9 years. So how are we doing? How are we walking and living the vision of the program? Well, I've had 171 seniors and 166 graduates. And those five, they owe me, and they're going to get it. I'll chase them down to the edge of the earth until they get it. And we're going to pay for it. All right? So I think that we're walking the walk. We're the only school in the country that has been top 15 in football and top 10 academically in the country 5 years in a row. Last year we had 40 during the championship run last fall. We're taking finals now, but last fall we had 48 guys make a 3.0 or better. And in the spring, after winning the national championship, we set the school record with 53 guys that made a 3.0 or better. And the thing I'm most proud of, which kind of speaks to the culture of what I'm talking about, last year there were 103 juniors that declared for the draft early. Said, hey, I'm leaving college, I'm going pro, I'm this and that. 103 juniors that said, hey, I'm in, I'm going to the draft. Only 8 of those 103 had a degree. But 4 of those 8 came from Clemson. Deshaun Watson graduated in 3 years. Mike Williams graduated in 3 years. Artavis Scott and Wayne Gallman. And so that's culture. And that is keeping the main thing the main thing. So I know I took a little time on that one, but you young people, you need to hear me on that now. You've got to get your education. You've got to have something else to stand on other than the game of football. And for us, I love winning. The fun's in the winning, as I say all the time. Ain't nobody celebrating in the locker room when you get your butt beat. But it's how you win that matters. It's how you win that matters. If you're winning, but you're not impacting and changing your players' lives, your coaches in here, you lose. Okay? That's just the way it is. So I want to stress that. And the next one I would say is attitude. One of the things that I say all the time is the only disability in life is a bad attitude. I mean, I have people that I see sometimes that they have the least, and man, they are the happiest people I know. I have a Down syndrome young man that works on our staff. He's the happiest kid I know. Every day, every single day, we all have issues. We all have things. This is life. We all have setbacks. We all have failures. We all hurt. We all have screwed up issues in our family. But at the end of the day, one of the most powerful choices that you have is the choice of attitude. The choice of attitude. A good attitude leads to positive thinking. And positive thinking is the foundation for positive results. All right? It is so important that y'all understand that. It's one of the few things that you do control in your life. Happy people just think differently. I just believe that. Happy people think differently. It's the optimist that changes the world. It's not the person sitting around saying, I ain't never going to do that. How many of y'all got some of them in your family? No, you ain't going to be able to do that. It's the optimist that changes the world. You know, when you choose to have the right attitude, it's not going to change your circumstance. It doesn't change that maybe your mom's sick in the hospital. It doesn't change the fact maybe you just lost your job. But when you choose the right attitude, it creates hope in the future. And like it says in Jeremiah 29:11, man, if you've got hope in the future, you got power in the present to deal with what you are thinking about. And for me, as a young person with a total mess in my family, the one thing that I have always hung on to, was the power of my attitude. And having a positive attitude created a hope beyond my circumstances. created a belief that, you know what? One of these days it'll be different. And so I just want to challenge y'all as you go through your life to live your life with a smile. Live your life with a smile. You know, have the right perspective. There's a saying, 2 prisoners behind the bars. One sees the mud, the other sees the stars. Same circumstances, same situation, different perspectives. Okay? It's all how you think. All right? So make sure you live life with a smile and understand that there are people out there every single day that are praying for what we take for granted. There's somebody today praying to be able to get up out of a chair. Like that would be the greatest accomplishment, just to be able to get up out of a chair, or to be able to see, or to be able to hear, be able to feed themselves. Things that we often take for granted. Understand that. Keep that good perspective. Heard somebody say one time, sometimes we all sat around this table and everybody put their problems in the middle of the table. You'd see everybody else and you go, no, I'll just keep mine. Hang on, I'm good. I'm good. You get a little different perspective. Choose the right attitude. I heard a guy say one time, there's no winners and losers, just choosers. It's a choice. It's a choice, the type of attitude that you have. The next fundamental is you got to believe. I'm standing here before you because I have always believed in myself. I believed in my future. I've believed when it didn't make no sense to believe. I've always believed. And that's why I'm here. You have to believe in yourself in a world that often will not believe in you. A world that will tell you you can't. I carry 2 signs in my team meetings every day. I have for 9 years. One says believe. The other one says it can't be done with the T crossed out. What I had to change at Clemson 9 years ago was I had to create an attitude of belief. Not an attitude of, well, we think we can. We know we can. An attitude of belief. That's where it starts. As a kid, I believed and I thought and I dreamed beyond my circumstances. I believed in a good future. The Bible says, as a man thinketh, so is he. Do you know how powerful that is? You young people, did y'all hear what I just said? As a man thinketh, so is he. If you think you can't, you can't. That's the tools that you have available to you. There's a quote from Gandhi that is one of the foundations of our programs. You young people, listen to me now. Your beliefs become your thoughts. Your thoughts become your words. Your words become your actions. Your actions become your habits. Your habits become your values. And your values become your destiny. That's how powerful it is that you believe and you think the right way. As a man thinketh, so is he. If you think you don't deserve it, if you think you're a dog, if you think the world's against you, if you think all these...
We were playing Vanderbilt a year ago. They were 3-0. All right, we're 3-0. And as soon as we go 3-0, I'm thinking, how am I going to get our players up to play Vanderbilt? They don't have a lot of respect for them. They are a little better than they usually are. All right, so this is going to be a little tougher game. We got to play up there. So one of their players gets on ESPN after they beat Kansas State and says, Bama, you're next. So now our guys, they're ready to go. I don't have to say anything. So we go up there and play the best game that we played all year. I think it was 65-0, like maybe at halftime. All right, and I'm trying to figure out how not to score. But the question that I had for the players after the game was, you all felt disrespected by what this player said. Now, you wouldn't know the guy from Adam's House Cat if he walked in the room right now. Nobody would recognize him. Nobody would know who he was. But he put it out there, all right, that you're next. So you all felt disrespected by this guy. So that disrespect really motivated you to go out and play great, which you did, and I appreciate. But why do we need that guy to do that? If you have any self-respect and you want to be the best player that you can be, you want to be the best person you can be, you want to be the best student that you can be, why do you have to have somebody else dog you, all right, to motivate you to get ready to do that? What about your self-respect of knowing you did your best to be the best you could be? So nobody could answer. Got no answer, got no response. All right, but that's a question really for all of us. You know, I talk about success is not a continuum, but to be successful, and most of us work in some organization with other people, we need to be positive and affect other people in a positive way that are around us. And it takes a little otherness. You know what otherness means? You put the other person first, all right, so that you can be positive, all right, about how you affect the people around you. And it goes a long way in terms of being a leader. If someone's going to be a leader, the first thing you need to do is set a good example. You got to be somebody that somebody wants to emulate. And you got to care enough about another person to help them for their benefit. Not for your benefit, that's manipulation. For their benefit. And it may be something as simple as teaching them to do something a little better, a better way. All right, because if you're going to be a leader, you have to serve other people. Never pass up the opportunity to say, I appreciate you. Never pass up an opportunity to tell someone they did a good job, all right, because we really want to serve other people. That'll make you feel better about yourself than anything that you can do. And I always ask people a question, and you can ask yourself this question and do a little inventory on yourself, is how do you pray? Do you pray to be blessed, or do you pray to be a blessing? Somebody else has to bless you. You can be a blessing to everybody that you meet every day by how you treat those people, how you think of them, and how you help them along the way in terms of your impact and your positive energy and attitude on what they do. So helping others. You know, people only remember one thing. How did you make them feel? That's all they remember. In the long run, that's all they remember. When they meet you, when they talk to you, how did you make them feel? So if you really want to create value for yourself, you have to be positive, and other people have to say and feel good about how you make them feel. And that's hard because everybody's self-absorbed. They think about how it affects me, and you got to go to the otherness part. How does it affect them? And that's really important. So if you're going to have a successful team, everybody's got to work to the same standard. You know, everybody's got to understand. You got to keep focusing on what's in front of you. You got to be positive in your work. All right, but if you're going to have any team chemistry in your organization, everybody's got to work to the same standard. And if you don't, you're not doing anybody a favor if you don't make them do that. If you don't confront and demand that they do that. Because you're never going to have any team chemistry in your organization. Because if you got these people over here half-stepping and these people over here working and doing the job that you want them to do, they're never going to respect each other. Mediocre people don't like high achievers, and high achievers don't like mediocre people. So if you let it coexist on your team or in your organization, you're never really ever going to have any kind of team chemistry. And then ultimately, everybody out there, and I'm talking to the players mostly, you got to be responsible for your own self-determination. What does that mean? You got to be accountable to do your job. And it can't be somebody else's fault just because things don't go the way you want them to go. You have to take responsibility for that. You have to understand somebody defined what I was supposed to do. What part of that did I not do well? And then go get it fixed, all right, so that you have a chance to be successful and be the best that you can be. And then the last thing kind of goes back to what I talked about before. How about your pride in performance? What kind of self-respect do you have to be the best that you can be at whatever you choose to do? To me, you'll never have more happiness in your life than knowing you did your best to be the best that you could be, no matter what you choose to do. So you got to think of others. You got to believe and trust in something. And you know, you can't trust anyone. And I tell my kids this, I tell the players on our team this. I can't trust you if you don't tell me the truth. So everybody's got to tell me the truth. Tell my kids, you got to tell me the truth. I can't trust you if you don't tell me the truth, and we can't have a relationship if I can't trust you. So how much value does that have? And that's true in any organization. That's the only way you're going to have that. So you got to think of others, but we also got to believe in something, and we got to believe in principles, and everything starts with trust and respect. And people have to respect each other, and they have to trust each other. All right, and everybody's got to be grateful. Got to be grateful for the gifts you have. All you players back there, all right, God gave you great gifts. You should be grateful for that. And you should thank your coach. But every coach should thank the players, like I thank our players at the banquet. But every thank you has an IOU. You thank somebody, that means they did something for you, they helped you do something, then you should think that I have to do something to make sure that I don't disappoint in terms of how people help me. You know, this happened to me when I was a kid. I was 9 years old. I played second base on a Little League team. All right, baseball. Carolina, coal mining town. Jocko Anderson was my coach. I still remember him like yesterday. I was the smallest kid and the youngest kid on the team, and I played second base because that's as far as I could throw the ball to get it to first. All right, so he used to hit me extra ground balls all the time, and my dad would come and pick me up, and one day I said, hey, thanks, Coach, for hitting me some extra ground balls. And we were walking away, and my dad said, you know, that thank you has an IOU. I looked at him like, what are you talking about? He says, you owe that coach all of your trust and respect, and you owe that coach your very best in everything you do because he's put everything he can in terms of helping you be able to be successful on the field. No different than when I thank our players for the great effort they gave all year this year to go 13-0 and win the SEC. I thank them all for that, but I owe them my best to help them be successful as people, as students, and as players, and as well as best effort for them to have a chance to be successful in the next game. So all these things are about pride in performance. And I'm going to close in something that with something that you probably heard me say many times before. I probably said it when I was here before. All right, is Martin Luther King gave a sermon probably 70 years ago. And he talked about there's only one guy that I'll let shine my shoes in the green stamp store in Montgomery, Alabama because of the pride that guy has in shining shoes. And the smile he gets on his face when you tell him what a great job he did in shining your shoes.
Quickest way to be successful is to build those people up around you, individually as well as collectively. So you're special because you're learning that. And you're learning it at the right age because when you go on other teams to provide for people that are dependent on you, as you've learned about your players that are dependent on you, you learn to give of yourself with true humility, where you think of others more than you do yourself. Build the people up around you to be successful. And you are so special because you have that opportunity, one in a lifetime, to play high school football. Once in a lifetime to be able to play football, period. And to the ones that go into a higher level, the same thing applies. And you're so special because you're smart. Because again, with all the things that you have to make split decisions out there on that field and changing defenses and offenses, making check, you have to do it within a split second. But everybody can't do that. You can do that and maintain your dignity and your morals and your character. And that's why you're special. And I want to say this to the coaches, you're special also. Because I know how it is with players. It takes a lot of time. And you're doing it for the right reason. But these are three things I want to encourage the coaches to keep, and you have it. And I call them 3 C's to help develop these young men. The first thing is you continue to give them compliments, sincere compliments on what they have done correctly. Continue to give them those. The second thing is to continue to give them confidence. Now, let me clarify this. Confidence is where you encourage people and you let them know that they can become and do what you're asking them to do. Continue to give them the confidence. But the third C is the most important one. And this is the one I want you to underline, put a circle around, and put ditto marks around them. You have to really care about your players. Because if you don't care, They can see through you. And if you don't care, you can't compliment them sincerely. And if you don't care, you can't give them confidence sincerely. But now let me tell you this, and players, you need to understand this. That caring doesn't always come in lovey-dovey, rubbing your back and patting you on the head. That love sometimes coming to have to, hit you on the bottom. And I don't know whether you can do this, forgive me, but now back in our days, they could grab your face mag and pull you 10 yards. Some of that is caring. But coaches continue to give them those 3 C's. Sincere compliments, confidence, and the most important one is to care. And remember, coaches, players, you are so special because you only get one in a lifetime to do something that is extraordinary. Thank you all so much. I told you I was going to be like Marilyn Monroe. I'm not going to keep you long. Thank you.
Bus is coming in 10 minutes. Come eat breakfast.
Hey, watch the homework.
Do you know it's supposed to rain?
Where's my gray hat?
Where did you leave it?
It's your body.
What time does practice end today?
I like that headband. It really makes a statement.
Are you gonna wear this to work? Let's go, bus is here.
Liberty Utilities natural gas. So reliable, you'll forget we're there.
Even during times of distancing, we are now connected more than ever.
From working remotely and learning from home to talking to family,
Beam is here to ensure you are connected.
With internet access for the students who need it and a strong network to keep you going, we are dedicated to keeping you and the community online.
to all the heroes and essential workers on the front lines,
Thank you.
Thank you.
thank you. Beam, we're here when you need us, before, now, and always.
Coach Saban convinced us. We're committing to Aflac.
Why Aflac? Because health insurance doesn't always pay at all.
Aflac! After surgery, we had extra bills. Follow-up visits, deductibles. We thought health insurance had us covered for everything, but it didn't.
Aflac gives you money directly to help you with those things.
I want to thank my wife, my mom, the duck.
Get help with expenses health insurance doesn't cover. Get to know us at Aflac.com.
And that's all the time that we have for today, and we'd just like to thank you all from DJ to Loretta Rose. Thank you for watching Sports Visions. See you next week.